Right. Benjamin Kinichi here, the chairperson of Zimbabwe Immigration Federation. Today is the 1st of April 2025, and it's a very important day. Today it marks a very historic milestone in South Africa's immigration system. And the reason why I say that is because today the Minister of the Department of Home Affairs, Dr. Leon Schreiber, has appointed the Immigration Advisory Board. And the Immigration Advisory Board is instituted and under Section 4 of the Immigration Act 13 of 2002. And it's very important, especially for ZEP holders. As you may know, ZIF is the only organization that 100% represents ZEP holders. So we've been working on this ZEP project since 2021, when the then minister made a decision to terminate the exemptions granted in the ZEP permits. So now, today, according to his promises, the Minister of the Department of Home Affairs has now appointed the Immigration Advisory Board. So yeah, we would like to commend him for taking that milestone, and because we believe that that board is going to be a cornerstone of evidence-based policy making, which also aligns to the High Court ruling of the 28th of June 2023, where we went to court alongside the Helen Suzman Foundation to also claim the rights that we thought were being taken away or abruptly being ended for ZEP holders. So we're very grateful for the appointment of this Immigration Advisory Board. And in terms of the law, in terms of Section 4 of the Immigration Act, the board can only have at least 13 members. So that board has been constituted constitutionally. So it has exactly 13 members, and they are independent experts. There's 2 independent experts there that have been appointed. The one is Mr. Mavuso Msimang, who is the chairperson of the board, and then the deputy chairperson is Andreas Krensel, who is the deputy chairperson, and those 2 are called independent experts. So they're non-aligned. They chair the board and they are non-aligned, which means they listen to the facts that are being presented and they make decisions based on those facts. So we are happy because that also, if you look at the argument that we had at ZIF on the 13th of April when we went to court, we said that the manner in which the exemptions were terminated was unconstitutional and not procedurally fair and also unlawful. So the court agreed with us on the 28th of June 2023 when they gave us a ruling and said that they agreed with us on that matter. So we're very grateful for that. But also some of the members of the board are also coming from different places, different respects, like from labor, they're coming from business, they're coming also from key government departments that are like the Border Management Authority, the Department of Home Affairs, the National Treasury, and the State Security Agency. So that diversity also, we believe that to ensure that there is balanced and inclusive expert-driven advice, especially on immigration matters and most especially relating to the ZEP holders. So we are, as ZIF, we are really grateful, we are really hopeful. The appointment of the Immigration Advisory Board, it gives us hope. That at least we're not going to get an arbitrary decision being made, but whatever decision is going to be made is going to be fact-based, which is what the law requires, which is what pushed us also to go to court in April 2023. So we do have expectations as ZIF on the Immigration Advisory Board as a litigant in the court cases that happened in April 2023, and one of the expectations is that the Immigration Advisory Board is going to give policy guidance to the minister. So unlike what happened last time, where the minister did not consider any guidance, the minister did not consider any legal implications, and also any implications also on the lives and the livelihood of the ZEP holders. We are hoping that the Immigration Advisory Board is going to provide policy guidance to the minister in terms of ensuring that the whatever decision is made regarding the ZEP permits is not going to be abrupt, and also that it's going to be lawful and it's going to be constitutional, just according to what the law agreed with us about. And also, if there is going to be any transition from the ZEP permits, we are expecting also that the Immigration Advisory Board will be leading the consultations that will be happening, and we are expecting also that the consultations will be wide. We are expecting that when the consultations happen, we don't anticipate that there will be a few representatives chosen in that big pool of probably around 120,000 ZEP holders. 120,000 ZEP holders. We're not expecting that there will be too much representation, because too much representations dilutes the actual situation in which the ZEP holders are in, and also in terms of fairness. I mean, that process wouldn't be fair if, for example, the representation is 1 to 20,000, for example, or 1 to 10,000. We're expecting a wide consultation process that will ensure that all the ZEP holders are heard, and the circumstances and the situations of the ZEP holders are heard and understood, so that we can the minister can come to an inclusive decision that will not affect that will help a few ZEP holders and affect others. So that's what our expectation is, and also we expecting that they will ensure that that process is going to be lawful, and also that is going to be humane. We're not expecting people to be intimidated into providing their feedback or in the consultations. We're expecting them to be allowed to be themselves and to speak about themselves, about the situations that they're facing, and how the decision to terminate the ZEP permits is affecting them right now. It will affect their future, their children, their lives, and their livelihood. So they should be open and free to in those consultations. So that's what our expectations are. And also some systematic reforms, because it's part of the portfolio of the IAB. We are expecting also that they will help the minister in making some certain systemic reforms that will address the inefficiencies that are currently there in visa adjudication, and also just to create a fairer system for the ZEP holders, not only for the ZEP holders, but for all the immigrants coming into South Africa, just to make it fair. I'm not saying making it easy, but I'm saying making it fair. So those are some of the expectations. I mean, without wasting much of your time, but we've got concerns, and one of our concerns is that the extensions that were done by the minister are going up to the 25th of November 29th, if I'm not mistaken, 29th of November 2025. And our concerns is, we are worried if that is going to provide him with adequate, or the Immigration Advisory Board with adequate time to do the consultations. I mean, we're talking here about around 120,000. That's an estimated number, because there used to be 178,000, but because of some of them have moved out of some of them, I think the statistic that we got previously were that quite a number, about 20,000 or so, they have moved in to the general work visa, and but the rest of them are still sitting in the ZEP. So whichever way they will decide to handle the situation. But we are worried about the 120,000 odd ZEP holders and how they're going to be consulting with them. Is the time frame still the same? Is the time frame going to work between now and the 29th of November? Will the consultations be concluded? Since the minister is also advocating for modern ways of doing things, probably there can be surveys done and stuff like that. But we worried about that. We don't know how they're going to do it, but we worried about that, and also we worried about the legal protections on the ZEP holders, because another short-term extension, if the consultation that doesn't happen between now and the 29th of November, to allow for the minister to make that informed decision, which is what we're welcoming. But the challenge now is that if it doesn't happen within this time frame, what does it mean legally in terms of the legal protections that we have from the latest directive? I think it's Directive 4 of 2025. The protections that ZEP holders have. What are the implications? Because that's one worry as well that we have, to say, because already ZEP holders have been excluded from the economy that they're contributing to. So ZEP holders are paying tax. ZEP holders are legal immigrants in the country. They're paying tax. They are doing everything else that even the locals are doing, paying tax and contributing to various portfolios, just like a normal person that contributes to the economy. Some of the ZEP holders are running businesses. They are employers that are employing both locals and foreign nationals. So all that they're doing, all that economic activities, they're contributing to the economy, but then they can't get the benefits of that economy. Things like applying for a life cover, for example. The financial services industry, the financial service providers are not willing to waive that. So you cannot apply. If you're a ZEP holder now, you would have applied for a life cover, but you can't apply for a life cover now. That's an example. It's difficult to take your kids into school because you're a ZEP holder and because it's short term. So the permit that you have is short term, so you can't. It's difficult for you to get kids into school, and there's quite so many complications that the ZEP holders are facing even now after getting the interim relief on the 28th of June 2023. There's quite a number. People can't renew their driver's licenses, for example. There's quite a lot that's happening now, and those legal protections. I mean, if it takes longer than that, it means it's prolonging the ability of the ZEP holders, even though they're contributing to the economy, but it's prolonging their ability to also benefit from that economy. A ZEP holder cannot get a loan. A ZEP holder cannot get a car. For example, it's just difficult, because those are some of the basic things that ZEP holders could be benefiting from the economy at this stage, which is why we think that it's important that this process is expedited, so that those issues can be those issues can be resolved. And one of the things that we're worrying about also is whether the consultations are going to be inclusive enough. I think I did mention that. So we've got a number in ZIF. We're looking at least 80% of the remaining ZEP holders, so that we can have a sizable view of the impact of any decision that does not provide a permanent solution to the ZEP crisis. So if 80% at least are involved in the consultations at personal level, not by representation, but at personal level, 80%, then whatever outcome is going to come out of there is an outcome that will represent the majority of the ZEP holders, and whatever decision that will be made in terms of scale will be strong enough or will be reflective enough of the crisis that ZEP holders are sitting in. So I heard the minister's comment also that also is very encouraging. In his words, he said that the IAB affirms our commitment to evidence-based policy and the rule of law. That is very important. And he said we will draw on deep expertise to ensure immigration policies support economic growth and uphold dignity, which is also what our complaints were, was that like the right to equality, was under threat, and the right to life and was under threat. The children's rights were under threat. The right to a fair judicial process was under threat when we went into court with our Part A. And I'm very happy that the minister is addressing that. And in his statement, his statement signals a shift from the arbitrary decision that was made in November 2021, and it now going towards decision-making through transparency, through accountability, and through science and through evidence. So that for us brings us hope. And just not to waste too much time, I mean, if you're a ZEP holder, what do you need to do now? So as ZEP holders, your role is very critical in this whole consultation process that's going to happen. So I think what is important is, first of all, it is that you stay informed. So you need to know what is happening and when it's happening. It's very important. It's of paramount importance. Some of the members have ZEP holders, and our members also have lost the email addresses that they used to register for their or to apply for their ZEP permits and stuff like that. You need to make sure that you communicate with the Department of Home Affairs and ensure that you update your details, because it's very important. If they're going to communicate with you, they have to communicate with you somehow. If your email is old and it's not working anymore, then you need to give them the new email that is working. Otherwise, you get excluded from the consultations as well. And so we will be working with our members to ensure that we facilitate that, to ensure that all our members have their email addresses updated with the Department of Home Affairs. We're following that process. Our legal team is working on that. And I think it's very important, monitor updates from the Department of Home Affairs and from the Immigration Advisory Board. It's very important. And if you're a ZEP holder and you haven't joined ZIF yet, please join our ZIF platforms, because we give you that information so that we make sure that everybody in those platforms stays informed. And also, it's very important also that you engage when the consultations begin, because it's important. Don't expect that some people will engage for you. Like I said, as ZIF, we are advocating for 80%, at least 80% or around 80% of the remaining ZEP holders should be involved in the consultations. But ensure that you also participate so that you can be part of the shaping of a fair outcome in these consultation processes. And also it's important that you prepare yourself for the worst. So as ZIF, we are a registered organization, and we are a very compliant organization in according to the statutes, the legal statutes that govern us. So for that reason, we are preparing litigation as our fallback option. We're not going to leave that option out. Litigation is our fallback option. We'll be telling you of the developments that are happening in the near future. But in terms of the litigation side, there are developments that are brewing, and then we'll keep you informed on our platforms if you follow us or if you join us on our platforms. But it's very important that you do so that you keep yourself informed. So I think in closing, I would like to say that as ZIF, we believe that the IAB's revival is a beacon of hope. It's a beacon of hope for resolving all the long-standing challenges, immigration challenges that we have been facing since 2021. I think our lives have been in limbo. We, like I said, we have been participating in the economy. We haven't been getting the benefits or the benefits that come out of that economy. So we're hoping that the institution of the IAB is going to help us with that. And we believe that, and we understand that the road ahead requires that we become patient with the IAB, and so that we know what the IAB is put in place for. And I think I did explain that, and it's very important that we're patient with them and allow them to settle and allow them to give us direction as to where they're going. And it's very important, as ZEP holders, it's very important, very, very important that you be vigilant. We said in our last video that there were people that were saying the IAB has been appointed and we have been chosen to represent you. They were giving you your numbers, adding you to their WhatsApp and social media groups. Just be careful of those people, because as you can see, the Immigration Advisory Board was appointed today. And about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, somebody was saying it has been appointed and I am the one that has been selected. There's nothing like that. We will wait to hear from the IAB what they intend to do. We will wait to hear from the IAB what they intend to do. We are not going to get information from the sidelines. Let's not get information from the sidelines. They will be speaking. And when they speak, we will also be consulting with them as a registered organization and also as a litigant in the court cases of April 2023. We will also be engaging with them, and we will also be talking to them and finding out what we need to do, and also giving our views also, especially when it comes to the consultation process, what are our views and so on and so forth. But yeah, so just be careful, just be careful, just be on the guard. People are going to take advantage of you if you're not. People took advantage of ZEP holders and pushed them out of the Section 31 of the Immigration Act at some point, and advising them to move from Section 31 of the Immigration Act to Section 19, which is the General Work Visa. And against what the court order was saying. The court order was saying the minister should initiate a consultation process of judicial review according to the Paja Act. And that's what was supposed to happen, because that's what the court orders said. But people were saying to people, yeah, you need to move to the general work visa and so on and so forth. And people were misled. People lost a lot of money. I'm told of people that paid 6,000, 7,000. Those people were working with some legal firms that they were working with, and they were making money out of that. Because on that 6,000, that person could have been getting 10% or 20% from that 6,000 that you paid, or the 5,000 that you paid, so that you can get help applying for a general work visa. That also taking the right that you have in Section 31 away from you. So just be careful. This is your life. This is your children's life. This is your children's future. You need to safeguard it. And information is very important. Stay informed. Stay in line with where the information is. So with that, I would like to say thank you very much for visiting our channel, and thank you very much for listening to us. If you're a ZEP holder, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our join our Facebook page, and we're going to drop the links here in the chat so that you continue being informed and you keep being informed. And then we can work together. There is power in numbers. If we can work together and ensure that we have a strong voice, that we can be heard, especially when it comes to these consultations. I don't have much for you today, but thank you very much, and we will meet again soon. Please join our platforms, and then we'll talk from there. Thank you very much.